is Gammy, aka gamycodes, and today we got an awesome project for you. We're going to be working on this QR code inspired by Frontend mentors. So it's going to be a pretty easy project, but at least I will get some experience as far as talking while I'm coding. And you guys, if you guys are brand new or just learning about Flexbox, awesome time to learn stuff. So let us get started. First off, they sent us this nice index.html profile, which is pretty cool, or this index.html file, which is pretty cool. So you're able to have your styles, but what I want to do is I want to take off, actually I just want to take off this right here, and I want to take off the style sheet because I'm going to be using external style sheets. Now, I'm not going to be using ChatGPT for this one. I don't feel like it's necessary at this point, but I do want to use Google a lot. Not a lot, but just enough to remember some of the things. So, for example, external style sheets, because I just want to connect my styles. And the cool thing is, if you guys have the grepper attachment, it makes everything a lot easier. So I want to get my style sheets right over here. And the two style sheets that I want to link is my reset.css and my styles.css. Now, if you guys have Emmet, this makes things a lot easier. So I want to keep my styles.css or my reset.css and my styles.css. I do want to check if it's working. So first thing what I want to do is I actually do want to open a live server. And this is a brand new computer, so it's going to be asking me a lot of permissions and things of that nature. But so far, the live server does work. So let's say if I have an H1 that says hello world, H1. The way to test this out is H1 to hello world. I want to see my styles.css. Oh, my bad. Color red. And now we see that it's working just fine, so perfectly. So my styles are working. Now I do want to get a reset.css. So not CSS. And what reset.css is that every single, so you'll notice that every single, this is one I actually like to use. So I'll just go ahead, copy this one right here, and then paste it onto my code. Either this one or there's actually another one that I like using as well. I believe, let's see, or we could just go with the one that Gripper has right here, or this one right here. So reset.css, which is this one. Sometimes I'll go to ChatGPT and ask it to make me a reset.css file. Right here. So this should, if we go back to the QR code, it makes all of the, so basically resets everything when it comes to fonts, when it comes to sizes, when it comes to the display. It resets everything from browser to browser. So this is what you see here is probably what you're going to see on Mozilla Firefox as well. If I go to, let's see if I don't have a browser right now, but if I open Mozilla Firefox or Safari, it would display the same thing. Styles.css, if I still want to do H1 color red, then it would still show the H1 color red. Perfect. So a couple things I need to do. Number one, I need to take a look at what was this? I want to get the, sorry about that. I need to get the actual Google font for my project. It's going to be outfit. So, and there's a couple ways that I can perform this, but I know I need to add the font weights of 700 and of 400. Or actually, how do I get the embedded code? Perfect. So a couple ways to do this. I'm gonna go with what I learned the first time, which is gonna be, so I can embed this to the, actually, I can embed this right here to my styles, CSS. So I will go to my styles.css and just import this right over here at the top, make it easier for myself. And then my body. And so one thing I could do is go right here and I will use the body tag and put a font weight of outfit. So now everything, if I go back to my localhost 3000, or actually I don't even know what localhost I'm using right now for the, let's see, back to here, back to the Frontend Mentor. Now we see that the font family has changed. So now we have our design right over here, and it looks like for mobile and for so one is for mobile, one for desktop. The only difference now at this point is going to be the edges. So it looks like we're just going to have a container right over here and have a max width, and that way when the screen size grows or shrinks, we can have padding on the outside and have that perfect, and then maybe have a max width right over here. Other than that, normally I would use a Figma file so I can see the exact measurements, but because this project is so simple, I could probably just eyeball it and call it a day. So first things first, what I want to do is I want to set a div. Or I can set, it could be a little more semantic, set my main. And my main is going to have here are the colors that I do have right over here. So my main, one thing I want to do is I want to have my width 100%. I'm going to have my height, and I might calculate it. I think it's going to be calc minus 28 pixels because of the padding, the way that it works. But my minimum height is going to be 100. If you put my minimum height, is going to be 100 pH. And then I believe this is going to be a background color, so let's double check. Find out right now. Let's see here. That looks like it might be it. Let's double check. Perfect. So we have the background color. Now we just need the card. Couple ways I want to make this card. Number one, I want to make a div that's going to be card. So I'm just going to call this card. I'm going to have, and then I need to figure out my formatter. My formatter is going to be prettier. I like prettier a lot. A couple ways I want to do this right here. Looking at the preview, of course I want to have a background that's going to be white, so it's going to be this white background right over here. And the cool thing is that CSS has nesting. So before I had to use SCSS to nest, but now I could just nest with CSS. So background color is going to be this right here. I do want to add I do want to be able to see it. It looks like my padding is going to be about, let's see here. I want my font size to be about 16 pixels. And I do want my, what is it? do want my padding to be at least 1 EM, which is one unit relative. What I want to do is I want to have, now in order to center this div, because right now technically the card is way up at the very top, what I do want to do is I want to center that div from left and right to center. So what I want to do is display flex, and I want to do justify content, and justify content I could do flex end, flex start, or center. Center is gonna of course center the div, which you can see it centers it left to right, and then to center it up and down I want to do align items center, which is going to center that box right over here. The reason why I'm doing the padding, there's no content in there, but there is going to be a padding which is going to be right over here. So if we inspect this tool, we'll see that in the card, let me see here, there's going to be a padding of 16 pixels on each and every corner, so altogether it should be about 38 pixels, oh no, 32 pixels left and 32 pixels wide. So overall we have a huge padding, which is really cool, but now I want to add some content to it. So I'm going to add my image, have an image tag. I'm gonna have my alt is just the description of what's going on, so I'm just gonna do QR code and the image source. The cool thing about Visual Studio Code is I'm able to just get the images right here, and it's gonna be image QR code, and it's gonna show up, boom, just like that. Awesome. I can add a class name to identify it. I could do QR, which makes things a little bit easier. And I don't want it to be more than 576 pixels, so I'll do a max width. And 576 kind of seems like an arbitrary number, which it kind of is, but I'm just going to do 576 pixels max width, so that way if it gets bigger, it's not going to get that much bigger. Now, if it gets smaller, which is like this, I don't want to go. I don't like it to go to the end. I'm gonna do a width of 100%. Actually, do this because CSS styles are cascading from top to bottom. So width is gonna be 100%, and max width should be 576 pixels. The image, I believe I did QR, should be with 100%. If I see it correctly, let's see, there we go. And see, now that I have a width on the QR, now it's able to be a little bit more responsive, because now the image is able to, like I said, be more responsive with the QR. Let's see what else we need to do on this one right here. I do want a padding on the side, so I'm gonna have padding left. It should be 1.5 REM, which should be about 20 pixels, or no, 24 pixels. And you're gonna see that there's gonna be a little bit of an issue right over here, but what we can do to fix that is we can do calc. I want it to be 100%, and then minus 3 REM, because the padding kind of messes with the width. Okay, right, and perfect, because 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3, so it's able to have 3 REM. Perfect. Now, in order to do the curves, I want to have a border radius of We'll do 1.5 REM. And then I believe in order to have a little bit less padding right over here, because if I do this on the QR, it's gonna end up kind of a weird shape. So I'm gonna try 1 REM and see what that does. And that does give us a little bit better. Now, I know that if you look online, there's a little bit of sources in order to get it exactly right, perfect. For now, I'm just gonna keep it like this because it looks pretty well like that. And now at this point, I just need my text, and then we're pretty much done. So we need our text. I'm gonna do an H1, which is going to say improve. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have deleted that last text, but I did. Now I have to actually type it out, which should be not too bad. Let me see here. Improve your front end. Gosh, I didn't think about this through, but this is my first time teaching, so I hope you guys bear with me. I don't feel like I'm really teaching, to be quite honest. You guys are just kind of coding along with me. If those who are watching, cool. And then let me format this real quick. And then it will say scan into preview skills by building projects. Scan view, and then it will have a p tag. It's right underneath. P tag, emit, and scan. Alright, typing practice right there. Perfect. There is my 35 words per minute. So a couple different things. Number one, I want to create the space right here. I want to create the space underneath this, the image, this, and then it looks like there's a little bit of extra space right over here. The way I'm going to do that is by margins. I'm going to do, and usually I just add margin bottom. I always add just margin to the bottom, and it ends up working out. One looks pretty good. In the card, I want it the H1. Font size. Font size. I want that 2. I think it's 2, yeah. Might be a little bit too big. Let's go 1.5. That looks okay. I want font weight. Font weight, which is going to make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to do that at 700. I think I want the color of these ones to be this one. So color is what changes the text color. It's going to be this right here. Actually, no. That's going to be the color for the P, which I can actually change that now. Now, normally I would create variables. Honestly, I am used to SCSS, so it's a little bit different creating variables. In later videos, I'll probably demonstrate how SCSS works. Today I'm doing CSS, which is a little bit different how to create the variables, so it's not like I can't do it. I could probably do it right now, but in order to make it easier, and because it's a small project, because it's a small project, I just feel like it'd be easier just to copy and paste these variables right over here, since Frontend Mentor did give us these variables right over here. So now we have the colors all set to go. Now we have to center the text. A couple ways to do this. Number one, on the card itself, I could do text align center. Which does do what we wanted to do. It does center the text. So yeah, so now it does center the text, and I'm sure if we were to make it even smaller, and the cool thing is I'm sure if we make it even smaller, like if we inspect it, make it even smaller, then it would actually start looking more like the actually start looking a little bit more like the image, which is pretty cool. Yeah, see right here, it's actually pretty much kind of in line with the image, but we do need a little bit of spacing. So I need spacing right here and right here. So a couple different ways that I'm going to do the spacing. Number one, I'm going to do margin bottom 1 EM. And I'll do the margin bottom as well on the P, because it looks like there's a little bit of margin on the bottom right here. Next thing, there was some space where I actually closed it, but there's a little bit of space as far as between these letters. What we do is line height, and if we do 2, we're going to see that it's going to create a lot of space. But we'll just do 1.5, and it looks like it's on there. And same thing with the P, because I want that line height spacing. It might be a little bit smaller, actually, the line height. Yeah, a little bit smaller, 1.25. Perfect. And then the best thing to do at this point, right here, what else? I think I want this margin bottom to be 0.5 REM. I took 0.5 EM. I keep saying REM and EM, I'm sorry about that, but that is pretty much it. So that is the code as far as to make it. And like I said, for this, I use Flexbox right over here to justify all the content, as well as I nested some of the CSS. I'm not sure if you guys are going to see that usually in tutorials where you nest CSS together, but for the most part we nested the card, nested the QR code. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Easy project, one of the easiest projects to do. I hope to do more complex projects, but thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Being sure if you guys learned something, make sure to like this content, share it to your friends, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more content from Frontend Mentor. That is a series so hopefully the goal is to make a series of Frontend Mentor projects from newbie all the way to advanced. So the next one is probably going to be like a junior project or something like that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day.